I'm not.
Well, that'd be awkward if you were also streaming.
It sure would be.
I guess I could. We could stream to your Twitter account. I guess technically. I think maybe. I don't know. Anyways, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only show that when one of the hosts has to go on vacation, they record live on a Wednesday morning for you at your cubicle directly into your earbuds. I'm Ryan Neitzey. With me, as always, is the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm not gonna lie to everybody. I have no idea what we're talking about today. Haven't really connected those dots personally. Ryan's the one that set the show up. Well, he usually does, but we never discussed a single thing we were talking about this week. So I'm just gonna sit here and do my thing and act like I know, and I'll just spit out my takes when I need to, because that's usually what I do anyways. My eye is bothering the shit out of me, so that's awesome too. But yeah, let's talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, Scotty's pulling the old Tetsuya Naito gimmick here. His eyes bugging him. So he can't see anything.
My knees are also killing me. So just call me Scotty Naito.
Perfect. Well, how are you doing otherwise? How was your weekend, Scotty?
Wasn't long enough. I have to go back to work today, and then I'm off again tomorrow. Then I have to go back to work Friday, and then I'm off again Saturday. It's a weird week. But it's been good. I mean, I just don't want to go back to work, but it's okay. We got to talk about wrestling, and that's all I need. That's all I need.
Yeah, I was missing talking about wrestling with you on Sunday. Just I was hanging out with family at a reunion, and it was not the same to not talk about wrestling whatsoever and miss a bunch of wrestling.
You know what they say: if you're not talking with Scott E about wrestling, are you really living? I don't know who says that, but someone might.
I think only you say that, and I think you have it on.
I said they say.
You have
I don't talk in the third person.
You have it on a throw pillow right behind you, stitched into a throw pillow right behind you.
You don't know that.
I'm
gonna make one though. Maybe that there's my first personal merch. If you're not talking wrestling with Scott E, then you're not living. Or I don't even know what I said. No, let's just keep going.
All right, I'll just keep going. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining us again on this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Not really a lot of like main topics, but a lot of like small hitter news items maybe.
Muto disagrees with you.
Well, that's a big topic. We all know that. We're gonna, of course, talking about the G1 Climax, a little bit of update for that. Preview Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor. That's happening this upcoming Saturday. And of course, reviewing Noah Destination, or as much of Noah Destination as that you and I watched.
I did not watch the whole thing. I promise you that. There were junior matches. Come on now.
Me neither. But of course, we got some other news bits here to talk about as well. So let's get to.
We just start playing a game. Every time we get to the news bits, I'll just say, "Was Sasha Banks released?" And then you'll say no.
Well, I mean, the news item there is that, like, kind of, I guess. I mean, there's not been any like formal confirmation about Sasha Banks and her release between her and WWE and all that stuff, but she, at the very least, it's been announced that she is not taking any wrestling appearances until the new year, but she is setting up public appearances at C2E2 as Mercedes Varnado, not under the WWE brand, not related to that whatsoever. So seemingly she might have actually been formally released. So there we go. The answer to your question, Scotty, is Sasha Banks released? Is Sasha Banks released?
And yet,
Probably.
I go on the WWE roster page. Not everyone can see this that I'm looking at, but her big fucking face is the first thing that pops up. So I'm like, oh well, you know what? I know this roster page isn't updated that much, but usually when people are gone, they make sure to update it. So yeah, I'm still waiting for my official confirmation. But that's
Yeah,
a good start. That's another good start. You know, I think we've had 7 good starts of getting the news of Sasha Banks is still around or not. But yay!
I guess we can change the dial to maybe to probably. I think that's
You
the
know, she
only.
probably should have asked for her release when she had to be next to Saxton Huntley on the roster page. For me, that would have been it. I don't even know who that is.
You're a big Saxton hater.
Yeah, I sure am. Have you ever looked at the WWE? I'm sorry, we're going off brand here. Have you ever looked at the WWE roster page? Like
Yeah.
within the past year?
No. Oh, yeah, for the show. For this
They
show.
literally put Roman Reigns
Twice. Yeah.
as the biggest photo on the entire
Mm-hmm.
roster page. Just tell me who you care about the most without telling me you care about him the most. Like what a joke! I put the Usos twice too, but their boxes are so small. Anyways, we can
I like
whatever we were doing.
I like the vacant WWE Women's Tag Titles, and then after NXT last
Yes.
night, we have one
Yes.
half vacated NXT.
Or
Women.
Roxanne. It's okay. Roxanne's the best women. Wait, 1 second. Let me take that back. She's the best women's champion in NXT, so it's okay.
Of the two, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Also, people aren't going to like this, but she's also better than Liv Morgan already, so that would be pretty cool too if she gave that. Just move on.
Other WWE news, other WWE kind of news, sort of a fake out psych move, is that there was a report by Andrew Zarian that said that USA Network had briefly changed the past Monday Night Raw's rating from a PG to a TV-14 rating. This was, of course, announced by Andrew Zarian of Matt Men Podcast. That follow up with additional information. He eventually walked that back, saying that he received a memo that went out within the USA Network that briefed the change for July 18th. However, this memo was out prematurely, and the date of the change has not been finalized. So it was a fake out. However, I'm sort of picking up on the idea that the date of the change has not been finalized. Does that mean that it's still coming? That's what I'm thinking right now. So, Scotty, what do you think about this whole fake out thing? If you had any thoughts about it, and then whether or not you want to see a TV 14 or if it matters to you at all.
I mean, it's still gonna suck. So like that's cool. I think it could make their product a tad bit better, but it's not like gonna be this overly dramatic change to WWE in terms of like, oh, this is gonna make this better and this better. No, what you're actually gonna get is it being more sexualized like NXT. That's what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get blood and guts unless Cody's around, and then you're gonna get blood and guts. Come on now. So to me, it's just like when I first saw it, I was like, oh wow, that's cool. PG era, no more. Blah blah blah. Who cares? But I'm not gonna like sit here and act like it's gonna dramatically change anything because it's not. It's not. If anything, we're just gonna see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar maybe bleed in their main event at SummerSlam, and you're gonna maybe see just a more sexualized look. But I just it's hard for me to care. It's hard for me to care, Ryan, especially because I don't watch Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. If you know what, I'm going to say this: if they do enough somehow, some way, whether it be because of this rating or because Vince McMahon's kicked out and they somehow have a whole new great creative, which I'm not counting on that either. Mm-hmm. And they make Raw or SmackDown watchable again, then I will sit here on this podcast and I will review every single. Nope, that's not true. I can't do that to myself. But if they make either one of those better, then good for them, I guess, because SmackDown's literally the worst now.
Yeah. It's the whole thing about how TV 14, it doesn't necessarily help change the storytelling at all. It just makes the storytelling more bloodier or sexier. But that's also the difference, is that like AEW makes it bloodier. WWE, when last time they were TV 14, yeah, it was bloodier and brutal and stuff. But they also did like cutting off of penises and women, shitty women stipulation matches and lingerie matches, all that stuff, live sex shows, all that stuff. So it's not gonna make things better. If anything, it's
No.
gonna be a backwards move. People thinking that the TV 14 is gonna save WWE, it's not the thing that's gonna save it. It could help, if they decide not to be raunchy with it. Is with Vince McMahon and creative, I don't think that's gonna happen. But who the heck knows, Scotty? What we do know is that WWE is a safe space, so we can't imagine that there'll be any sort of raunchiness or anything like that in a safe space that is WWE, right? So, it's interesting that it still might be coming. That if Zarian's saying that like it's a plan, at least if USA Network, that's interesting to me. That feels very much like a response to AEW. But I don't know what's going to happen to this thing. I'm very interested to see what happens.
I think it's important to say Stone Cold Steve Austin isn't walking through the door anytime soon. Like the people that made TV 14 really great aren't walking through the door to save this. And half of their problem, and they have big problems, which is mostly just their booking and storytelling, but they also just don't have their top stars there at all. Like Roman's never there. Cody's hurt. Like Cody became the most watchable thing legitimately on those shows, and once he got hurt, I was like, "Oh God, this is bad." So it's hard to care. I think you make a good point. It's like, you know, until Vince McMahon is not there anymore, it's just going to be the same. It's never going to get better. But you know what? If they want to go TV 14, which is probably a long time overdue, just to have flexibility, I think.
Yeah.
Even if they want to like get serious with the story, I think that's a good part of it.
Mhm.
But how many times will they actually do that a year? Once? Like the Cody and Seth feud would have had blood. There you go.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is TV 14, like adding blood to specific feuds. Seth Rollins saying, "I don't give a shit about you, Cody," or something like that. I don't know. Things of that nature. I don't think it's going to change too much. Speaking about AEW, AEW's AQA wrestler. AQA is a wrestler there. 25-year-old former NXT wrestler Zeta Ramir announced that she is stepping away from professional wrestling. She tweeted out with a notes app thing, sort of thing, said, "At this time, I've decided to step away from professional wrestling for the immediate future. For the past few years, both mentally and physically, I have not been in a great place of wrestling, and silly me, I kept pushing through because I didn't want to be seen as weak, but it only sucked the fun out of every opportunity I had. I hope during this time I'll be able to reflect deeply and see what path is best for me." So yes, AQA is semi-retiring, semi-stepping away. Well, maybe we'll see here. She's only 25 years old. She's still very young, so she could easily pop back up. We'll see what happens.
I don't want to be that dick, but they always come back.
Oh, of course they always come back.
Like if you put up like 10 people that say this every few years, 10 wrestlers, what 9 of 10 come back?
Yeah.
But I hope she gets better because it's tough, and I'm sure getting released and kind of just having to find a job and jumping right into AEW, and I don't know if she was booked anywhere else besides like a couple dark, so I don't know how much she's been wrestling, but maybe that could have to do with this as well. Maybe she had a chance to get bookings and she just didn't want to, so that could play into it as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Get better.
I don't know exactly when she signed up with NXT, but she debuted on NXT March of 2021 during the pandemic, during the Triple H era still. She had what is this? 5 matches in 3 months, and then seemingly got dropped at some point after that. Then pops up in AEW February of 2022. Gets signed, wrestles there on a bunch of dark matches, wrestles on some indies for New Texas Pro, Reality of Wrestling, the Ring of Honor Supercard, 0 Hour Show, Warrior Wrestling, and then that's it. And then it literally that's all we get from her. So she only wrestled on TV once, and then she was on Dark Elevation 5 or 6 more times after that. So she hasn't wrestled since June 18th, and that was for Warrior Wrestling. So yeah, it's disappointing, but if you're not feeling mentally or healthy or anything, take the break. There's no point in sticking it out to try to make it better. Take a little break, come back into it when you're feeling better. It might not be for her. I mean, she's 25. I mean, she's still discovering what it means to be, I guess. That I'm just going to stop there. It's because she's still discovering what it means to be. So it's figuring all that stuff out, life choices and stuff. So I don't blame her whatsoever. These are all, I got a bunch of small little tidbits here. Staying in the AEW, we'll move on from this one, and then we'll go circle back for happy news. Do you want to talk about stuff that Twitter nonsense discourse from yesterday, Scotty?
About Effie?
Yeah, Effie trended on social media yesterday after a spot at Underground Wrestling Alliance.
No. I did not sign up for this bullshit.
So basically, Effie did a spot where it involved thrusting his pelvis to the face of his opponent, which was a female opponent named Sandra Moon. People drew comparisons to Joey Ryan. Sandra Moon tweeted out that she was totally okay with the spot, so what the heck was everyone mad about? Scotty, do you have any thoughts about this?
Yeah, it's gross. Don't do it again. Effie's bad at wrestling. There you go.
Ooh, that's a spicy one. That's a spicy take.
Well, I'm not here for Bussy or whatever the fuck they're called. I'm not here for that. And I don't like any time someone does have the Joey Ryan type stuff going on in their matches. And I understand the comparison. I'm not saying Effie's nearly as bad as a person as Joey Ryan, but just don't do it. There's no need for this in wrestling.
I sort of agree. I have nothing against Effie at whatsoever. I just don't like the spot.
I'm told Effie is a good, capable wrestler.
Yeah.
Just wrestle. You don't have to do this gross stuff. Like you two in the ring may have agreed, oh, it's fine. But maybe just sit there and think about it for a second. Maybe we still shouldn't do it. Like, just think about the image that it makes and what you're doing.
My whole thing about it is that, like, I don't like the spot, and the fact that the spot happened and everyone on Twitter, not everyone on Twitter, a section of Twitter immediately drew it to like Joey Ryan, immediately drew it to like that.
It's just because it involved that area.
I know.
It's a hairy man who does intergender wrestling
against a woman.
Yeah, well, that's what intergender wrestling is. So yes.
How dare you, sir? It's just that, like, I just personally, I don't like the spot. I don't like it when it happens in any other context. No. Even if it's not intergender, I just don't like the spot. So for me, it's a spot thing. I don't have issues with Effie. I don't have issues with Sandra Moon. I don't like the spot. I don't like wrestlers doing that spot. I don't think it's fun.
No, if you're going to do intergender wrestling, just wrestle. That's why people are there to watch you. It's to watch you wrestle, not do these, kind of like disgusting things that just don't belong in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Other disgusting things that don't belong in wrestling. Michael Elgin is reportedly arrested in Japan for stealing protein powder. It was a little update from Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave Meltzer confirmed that something happened in the gym regarding Michael Elgin, but it's not 100% guaranteed that he stole protein powder. So something happened where he might have been arrested for at least 10 days, forcing him to miss the Noah Destination event. And he was then promptly unbooked for his remaining dates. And now he is back home in Canada. So Michael Elgin was seemingly arrested, but now he's back in Canada and no longer works for Noah. He's since taken on social media to refute the idea that he had any jail time at all and that he stole protein powder.
The N1 victory looks great. The tag team champions and Noah are great. So yeah, I don't see the problem.
Yeah, totally okay with having.
I have no
Elgin.
like words to say about Michael Elgin anymore. Like, if he did it, he did it. If he didn't, he didn't. If he's going through a tough time, I'm sorry. Like, but you have plenty of back story behind you that I understand why no one feels bad for certain situations. And if you did get caught stealing, not great. But you know, like we're at this point where it's like I'm just looking at what has happened because of this, and it's a lot of good, believe it or not, in Noah. So, and shout out Jack Morris as well. You know, N1 victories, Jack Morris. That no one knows who he is.
I don't.
Well, I'm cheering him on because I'm like, oh, you know, this guy did nothing, and people are like, why the hell is he in here? And I'm like, well, it's a fair question because no one's ever heard of him. But I'm going to cheer him on. Hopefully he's good. He's wrestling a bunch of good people. Maybe it'll work out. But yeah, no Elgin means I don't have to watch him wrestle. So
yeah, no. I'm totally okay with Michael Elgin no longer being in wrestling and in Noah. You know, you had all that stuff that happened with him in Impact. Was it one or 2 years ago? Where I forget.
He's done a lot of stuff.
It was all speaking. It was speaking out stuff. I don't remember specifically what happened with him, just because there were so many speaking out things. I don't remember.
Top rope, catch a 5. Sorry, I've moved on from Michael Elgin.
All right.
There's so many little news bits this week, and they're all like depressing. God damn.
Do you want one that's happier? What do you want?
Yes.
All right. Fightful Select has learned that talent and staff in AEW have been told Kenny Omega is nearing a return. Details, tentative creative plans, and how it changed other plans, as told the talent and staff, are now in the full story at Fightful Select. So, Kenny Omega is nearing his return to AEW's ring.
So happy.
Jesus Christ.
Because okay, so fun little thing here. I thought when they said it, I was like, okay, let's go through the people that have problems, because I didn't consider Kenny for a second because we just knew that he's dealing with every injury in the book. I was like, okay, maybe CM Punk. That'd be cool because, you know, Meltzer talked about that the other day and gave us a window of 5 months, so that was cool. Then Bryan Danielson, we haven't heard about him in a while. I was like, oh, maybe he's coming back because he has the kind of injury where he can walk back in tomorrow. Or maybe it's Bailey for WWE because Sean didn't say it was AEW, and then he drops the bomb that it's Kenny Omega. Kenneth, the best bout machine. Did you see? Time out. Did you see Ospreay's new shirt?
I did just see it right before we started. Better than the best bout machine on the back. Great stuff.
So what does the front say?
Something about One Wing Angel. I feel I can't read.
It's like Billy Wanker or something. Anyways,
can't read that font.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Kenny. I'm just very happy. You know, he's been gone for a very long time, but they have saved a lot for Kenny to come back. And I really wish I knew he was going to come back as a babyface because he's best as a babyface, in my opinion, believe it or not, even though he's a great heel. And it'll come. But I'm just excited that we have any news on him coming back. If he comes back at All Out, if he comes back at Full Gear, that is still sooner than what my head was telling me, because I had given up hope for like this year for the most part because of how many injuries he was dealing with.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited. Kenny being back is a win, and that means so many things. I mean, how do you make AEW better when they've suffered so many injuries despite being really good right now? You bring back the original like guy of this company.
Totally, 100%. I think Kenny Omega coming back would be fantastic. I think, it's just saying that they're planning. Is nearing return. We don't know if he's 90%, if he's 70%. We don't know what.
He said he'll never be 100%. So
yeah, and that's coming from the horse's mouth there of Kenny Omega. But the goat.
he hasn't been 100% in like 6 years.
Yeah, I that's the thing. It's like 70 to 90 to 100%. You know, that's been par for the course for Kenny Omega for a long time. So maybe that's fine. Yeah, no, it's exciting stuff. You got All Out potential. If it's that close, maybe even Grand Slam or whatever it's called. That
maybe returns it All Out, wrestle the Grand Slam.
There's potential there. With Kenny Omega coming back, that would also mean that we might finally get movement on the AEW Trios titles. Since Tony Khan has specifically stated he is waiting for Kenny Omega to unveil those titles. So that's exciting to me. With Kenny Omega coming back, you can get Kenny Omega versus CM Punk for a world title match. That could be exciting for me. There's
that'd be exciting to a lot of people.
you can get movement on Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole. There's so many. Oh, and then not even that.
Well, Adam Cole has to come back too.
That's also true. But I imagine Adam Cole will probably be back around the same time, if not earlier than Kenny, just because of injury differences. And then beyond all of that, you also have what they're building right now, which is Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. Which, oh boy, that is a match and a half that I want to see. That's a boy howdy match already.
Yeah, they've built that one up a little bit. That match is the most built up match in wrestling, and they aren't in the same company. Kenny hasn't wrestled in almost a year. It'll be special when it happens.
Yeah, I am 100% excited for that match, and I cannot wait for it because, boy howdy, that should be good. But yes, that is Kenny Omega potential return. And we get trios title. Maybe he comes back in AEW All Out, and they do trios titles, and the finals are at Grand Slam. Whew, just give me a trios title tournament. That's what I need, folks. I want it. Anyways, let's talk about some main topics here. Let's talk about Noah Destination.
We won't talk about this, so I want to just say shout out Swerve and Keith Lee. They won the titles, and I jumped out of my chair when I watched it. So very happy that they won. I mean, that was a week ago now, so it's a little late, but I don't care. I wanted to give them credit because that was fantastic. Also a fantastic tag title match.
Fantastic title match. Yeah, it's been a week ago, and I'll be at Dynamite tonight, actually. I'm going tonight.
You're lighting the fuse?
I am in fact lighting the fuse. I'm bringing my flamethrower. So I'm gonna light it up. Dynamite style. Fighter Fest week 2. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston battle it on in a barbed wire death match. Which
that could be really good or really bad.
Yes.
I have confidence in these two. Actually, that'll be really good.
Their match at whatever I forget what the pay-per-view that was, but that singles match between the two of them, Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston, was fantastic.
Revolution? Was it Revolution?
Maybe that sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah, because Anarchy in the Arena was
the one after that. So and this should also be a feud ender too. So I'm excited about this sort of thing.
They say.
Rest of the card is hit or miss, I guess, but the main event should be good. I'm hoping.
Listen, not all of us can just go to a Dynamite and get FTR versus the Young Bucks. I can, but not everyone can.
Or go to a sub promotion for AEW and see FTR versus the Briscoes 2 at a 3 Falls. You can, I can't. I gotta stick it out.
I don't know yet if I can go, so we'll see. But I have some stuff going on that day.
Ooh. Well, we'll find out, I guess, next week if Scotty went. Well, let's talk about Noah Destination, a big pay-per-view coming out of Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah, everyone's favorite green promotion.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's probably right.
That's probably true.
Unless you really like Pro Wrestling Eve, but I highly doubt it.
No, contrast the two.
Which one has Rob Van Dam?
That's true. One of them couldn't even get Jamie Hayter, so it's Is that fun? So Noah Destination, they had a show in the Nippon Budokan last weekend, 3,200 in attendance, and they got a whole card. I know for a fact that Scotty and I did not watch all of this card because a lot of the
No,
junior
I don't watch
matches.
the junior match. Just come on now.
Exactly.
Unless it involves Dragon Gate, I don't watch them.
Did you watch the opening match? Ohara, High 69, Shuji Kondo, and Tadasuke versus Atushi.
No.
Defeated the team of Atushi Kochi,
No.
Daisuke Harada, Extreme Tiger, and Yohei.
No.
Did you?
I was trying to save you some time there. You just weren't letting it happen.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's just talk about the newsworthy matches then. Let's talk about let's talk about our newsworthy matches first, which is of course the singles match, the first ever match in the Pro Wrestling Love series for Keiji Muto's retirement tour, and it was in fact Kaito Kiyomiya defeated Keiji Muto in 26 minutes and 28 seconds. I thought this match was fantastic. I thought that they did a lot of the constant Kaito Kiyomiya scouting out the dragon leg screw was fantastic. Just like 5 or 6 times in a row, just never getting it.
People watching the camera watch me do the setting up for the Shining Wizard. Ryan's about to get drilled.
Oh shit! In the back of my head. I thought this match was so good. But Scotty, I know you have a lot to say, so I will give you the floor now.
This match was phenomenal. I never doubted him for a second. Him being the one, the only Keiji Muto. This is legitimately, for most people that I've talked to, a top 10 at the least match of the year. And how could I be shocked? Keiji Muto went in there and he said, you know what? Got my working boots on today. Let's do this. He did a top rope hurricanrana that had my heart beating out of my chest because I didn't know if he was going to get it or if he was going to, other things. This man is out of his mind. And then in the end, he didn't get pinned, but he gives up to the figure 4. Oh, man. Couldn't have done it better myself. I'll never doubt Keiji Muto, and shame on everyone else for doubting him either. Okay, maybe I had a little doubt going into this match. All right, maybe I had a lot of doubt going into this match. But let me tell you, they deliver. And it was phenomenal. And Kaito Kiyomiya gets the biggest win of his career. I don't care that he's been JHC World Champion. This is the win. Now, push him to the moon. And I mean that seriously because, after the match, Keiji Muto says, yeah, now he has my moves too. So now that Kiyomiya has added the figure 4, the Shining Wizard, to his block of moves. It's a passing of the torch moment, a fantastic passing of the torch moment. One of the best matches of the year, in my opinion, and I'm not just saying that because I do actually like Keiji Muto, and I think this is the best. This is the most complete Kaito Kiyomiya has ever looked. This dude is a star. There's a new world champion that I hope gets a decent reign, but it should go right from this current GHC heavyweight champion to Kiyomiya in the future. Noah did something this past weekend, and it was bring interest back to their promotion. And, after the waves of emotion I think a lot of people have gone through as a Noah fan this year, it's great to actually come out of a show and be like, wow, I like where we're going. And this is that time. Like, I love where they're going with a lot of certain things. Is it perfect? No. But Kaito got a big win against Keiji Muto. Just a phenomenal match. And, man, it was great. It was great. And now I'm tired, so I'm going to stop talking.
It was a great match. 100% I had doubts about this match going in. Of course, is Muto going to be able to move toe?
Well, that's fair.
Is he going to pin Kaito Kiyomiya again? I mean, the closest.
Did you time out?
Yeah.
Time out. No. Go back. Did you say move toe?
Yeah, I did say Muto. Did you like it? Did you like that one? I got compliments on my pun game last
Yeah, we
episode.
don't. Well, I'm not giving. No. Jason should not have gave you credit, and because now I have to hear them every show again.
Yeah, I guess that is true. You will be forced to hear them, but they're good. They're gonna get better every single time. So yeah, I had doubts whether or not he can move toe. I had doubts whether Kaito Kiyomiya could even win. The closest he ever got was a draw. So very concerned about that because, like we said last week about this match, whoever won this match, in my estimate, really determines how the rest of this retirement tour is going to come out. Is it going to be Kaiji Muto winning every single match? Or is it going to be maybe he picks up some wins, picks up some losses, or maybe lose them all? Kaito Kiyomiya won here. And I think that is very interesting news because it's a win, but it's also like, I'm doing everything to I'm going to take on Muto's, move that torch over to Kiyomiya, move into the N1 and maybe get the win in the N1. And that would be, continue that momentum for Kiyomiya.
Yeah.
Keiji Muto, he can go off and do other things and wrestle other people, maybe even in other promotions. Seeing how that shakes out. But it's very interesting to me that Muto has decided to lose here. He didn't have to. He didn't have to be, but he's decided to. And that makes me think that at the very least, it is wrestling. We just talked about it kind of with AQA. It is wrestling. But him losing here, Keiji Muto losing here, does bring, for me, more legitimacy to this retirement than ever before. We'll see how it turns out in the next 4 matches for Muto. But right now, I'm like, all right, this actually might be an interesting watch and might be worth making sure I watch all these matches. It's not going to be a Muto win fest. It's going to be, we're going to get some actual matches that matter.
This could have went 2 ways. It could have been a win fest, or it could have been him actually doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And truthfully, I would have been here for both of them. But I'm very happy they picked this direction because now Kaito, he feels made in a lot of ways. Like the fact that Muto decided to give his moves to him,
yeah,
like that's not just something that happens. Like no one can make Muto do that.
Mm-hmm.
No one can make Muto give someone the Shining Wizard or the Figure 4. Like that is what they did here. And I thought, and we talk about Muto a lot, but Kaito's performance in this, it's why this match is so good. Like you brought up avoiding those dragon screws. It was just masterful every time.
Yep.
And then he'd go right back at him, and when he hit the Shining Wizard, that was great. And when Keiji Muto hit the Shining Wizard, you kind of just sat there a little bit, and you're like, oh.
And then he hit the second one, and then he hit the third one, and I'm like, oh no!
You're like, oh god, he lost. He hits the hurricane off the top, which, by the way, terrified, but it was like picture perfect once he got it.
Yeah.
I thought if he hit the moonsault, it was all over. Let's just admit that he didn't hit the moonsault. But yeah, it was a great match. It was so much better than I could have imagined as someone that was like, this was the match. The same day the goddamn G1 started, this was the match. I literally woke up, walked over to my computer, turned it on, and watched it unspoiled.
Yeah.
And it was so worth it.
Totally. And we're not even talking about the finish. The finish being Kaito Kiyomiya destroying, going after the legs, drop kick after drop kick to both of Muto's legs, locks in the Figure 4, and not really taps him out, but forces him to submit.
Okay. Listen, Muto's gonna keep some of his magic.
Yeah,
he can't tap out.
He didn't do the moonsault. He didn't tap out. He did give up though. When Kaito Kiyomiya got the win, and like you said, he got passed down the Shining Wizard.
Some people be upset about him, like how they embraced after how Muto was just kind of walking away. I'm like, well, you got to remember, like this, everyone looks at Muto as like this selfish guy, who's like he's not there to be like all loving and whatever. So like that didn't bother me. Like he embraced Kaito really quick and he was like walked away. It's like he kind of was just giving Kaito his moment too. Like that was a big win. So for me, that didn't matter at all. I thought it was good.
That's how I read it as well.
Yeah.
That's how I read it as well. I read it as Muto giving Kaito his flowers, his moment there.
I can't wait for the final 4 matches now.
Yeah, like I said, that it brings more legitimacy and makes it more interesting for me to watch. Because now it's like, okay, Muto could actually lose these matches. It's not going to be a blowout.
I'm sure he'll win one. I'm sure he'll win something,
whether it be his last one or some other match. But yeah, I'm very intrigued.
The rest of them.
The rest of them. That'd be very funny. That'd be so funny if you won the rest of them.
Hey, if you put one person over, I think we just have to consider that a win.
Exactly. That's a win. It's the right person, I guess. Very good stuff from that match. And the match itself is also very good.
You could have said Muto.
that pun. You're not good at puns, Scotty. Just you're not going to be able to do puns.
I don't plan on it. I just wanted to say you could have just did another terrible one if you wanted to.
Another newsworthy match, of course, was the main event with the GHC heavyweight title match, where Satoshi Kojima, in his first ever defense with the title, lost it to Kano in 28 minutes and 17 seconds. This was very much an upset for me. Did not expect this result. Did not see this coming. Felt like
a lot of people did.
Exactly. It felt like Kojima was a lock, especially first defense. And this was a utter surprise for me and for everybody else with Kano getting the victory. Scotty, what did you think about this main event? What did you think about Kano becoming the new GHC heavyweight champion?
Oh man, I thought it was a great match. Not that I'm, really shocked that they had a great match.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a match that benefits a lot from the result. Like there are matches that do that, and this was one of them because you walked away from it and you're like, damn, we have a new champion. It's actually someone that you hope they can get behind for a couple months. We've played hot potato now with this title for a while. Went from Nakajima to Fujita. Fujita had to get rid of it, obviously, because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shiozaki won it. Shiozaki dropped it to Kojima, and now Kojima has dropped it to Kano. Let's settle now. Let's have Kano have this great title reign. Because one, I definitely think he deserves it. And two, it makes for a lot of great matches coming up. Because I think you and me both agree Kano is one of the best, not only in Noah, but probably the world in terms of just great matches when he has the right opponents in there. And when I say right opponents, I mean not the flaming boot of any situation. But I'm really excited because I didn't expect it, and it should be great.
Oh yeah, totally. I think
he's your favorite in Noah, right?
No, Go Shiozaki is my favorite.
That makes sense.
I love me some Go Shiozaki. But he's certainly up there. I think he's like number 3 probably with like him, Go Shiozaki, and Nakajima. Probably. But Kano, I love Kano a lot. I think he's very interesting. I love his strikes. I love everything about it. I keep bringing up the flaming boot because I just think that's so cool. It does scare me because when I think of Kano, I think of the flaming boot losing to Muto, and then I think about Muto's retirement tour, and now Kano has the title, and I'm just like,
unfair. He lost to Muta. Not the same.
Good point, I guess. Muta, who cares?
You know who's more protected than Keiji Muto? The Great Muta.
That's true. Great Muta's gonna win the last one probably. But yeah, no, I really like Kano. You said?
You want me to go through the M1 victory afterwards after you're done talking?
Yeah, we'll go through it when we go through the rest of the card.
The rest of the cards.
Well, there's some other stuff that's important. Kano, I thought this match was very, very good. I liked the effort in this match between Kano and Kojima. Like I said, I was not expecting Kano to get the win, but I thought Kojima was able to hold his own. Looked really good out there. It wasn't a great match for me, but it was a very good match. I liked Kano's strikes. I liked just this. It was just a surprise. I don't know. There's nothing really built up for me to be like, oh yeah, Kano's gonna get this one. It was just kind of like, whoa, okay. But yeah, everything about it I just thought was very, very good. Other matches that were newsworthy: the GAC Tag Team Title Decision match, which was Hideki Suzuki and Timothy Thatcher defeating the team of Masa Kiyomiya and Yoshiki Inamura. So we have new tag team champions. I thought that they were going to be new champions no matter what, but of course, with Michael Elgin gone, we knew for certain that it was probably going to be Suzuki and Thatcher, and I think that's a good tag team to put the belts on, honestly.
Yeah, I thought this match was great, really hard hitting, really physical, kind of what you expect out of these four. I'm happy Timothy Thatcher has a belt. He's great in Noah. He really fits. He fits the best out of anyone they've brought in so far,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't really shocking. I think a lot of people knew that, but he doesn't have much of the stink on him that people like to talk about. He just kind of goes in there and beats the crap out of people. Now we see two former NXT stars as the Noah Tag Team Champions, but they should be actually really good together. I'm looking forward to seeing them work.
Yeah, how dare Noah bring in former WWE wrestlers and put titles on them? How dare they do that? What kind of company?
Shame.
What kind of company thinks about doing that?
All of them.
Thatcher,
Literally all of them.
Thatcher and Noah is really good. I think right now it's the best spot for him personally. It's the only really spot.
The only other place would have been like New Japan.
Yeah, but I think honestly, like Noah Noah I think hits harder personally. You know, the feeling of Noah gives me just feels like it hits harder.
It's different.
It hits
Like
different, baby.
Like the WWE video game.
It hits different. But I love seeing Thatcher out there. I think he's doing great stuff. Also, he's jacked and ripped, and I'm upset about it. Other newsworthy matches: the hardcore tag team match. I know Scotty for a fact wants to talk about this. Masada Tanaka and Rob Van Dam defeated the team of Nasawa Rangai and Super Crazy in 10 minutes and 46 seconds.
Devastated we're not getting Kojima versus Rob Van Dam for the GHC heavyweight title.
I mean, yeah, it's just a disappointment. We got to get Rob Van Dam in there. Now,
Rob Van Dam's not bad. I want to put that out there. Like, he is not bad. He hit a great 5-star frog splash to win this match.
Yeah, I thought the match itself, all four members of the teams, like they're older, so they're all like slightly moving a little slower than they used to, of course. But it was well hidden. The tag aspect, the hardcore aspect, was able to hide all that nonsense for the most part. It just made it really enjoyable, this match. And Rob Van Dam, like you said, can still pretty much go. And honestly, I would love to see Masada Tanaka and Rob Van Dam challenge for the GHC tag titles.
I would too. That would be great. They were good together, which I kind of expected, but I don't know why. It's just like, I know people like when he originally got announced for it, people just laughed. And I was like, I don't know. I know Rob Van Dam wasn't great in Impact, but like we have to remember the stages here. Like he's not going to go all out at Impact. He might go all out on the bigger stage of like these Noah shows that he's appearing on. It's not like he's appearing on their mini ones; he's appearing on their major ones. So
yeah,
I hope they keep bringing back RVD because he actually looked good. He's not hurt anymore, and he seems like he's having a good time. So that's always important.
That's always important. Speaking about a good time, this is the last match, unless you have other matches you want to talk about. Ninja Mac versus Dante Leon. We got to talk about this. You didn't watch it. I thought this match.
I wouldn't watch this on the Indies. Why would I watch with Noah?
I guess that's true. I watched this match. I thought this match was fantastic. I thought this match was really, really good. This match feels like, for me, it's gonna be a wild comparison. So strap in, folks. This match feels to me got the same sort of discourse for me as like the Best of Super Juniors Ricochet Ospreay match, of like the flippy Magoo nonsense and people getting all upset about it. Yeah, there's flippy Magoo nonsense in here, but I like Flippy Magoo nonsense when it's done well.
Please stop saying Flippy Magoo. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
That's fair. This had flippy shit in it, but when it's done well, it's really good. Dante Leon had a fantastic cutters. There was a 630 like Phoenix Splash or something from Ninja Mac, just an insane move. It is the next level of high flying that some people are on board, some people are not on board yet, and eventually, this be that thing. But I think this was a great breakout moment for Dante Leon. Ninja Mac got streamers, so they're really setting him up as this next big guy for Noah in terms of the junior division. So I will be watching the junior division if Ninja Mac is the champion, and you know that for certain from me. So I am fully on board in the Ninja Mac in Noah train. I think he's been really good, fantastic work, and I would like to see more, honestly.
Wow. I don't think you could have sold it better there. I think you're all in on Ninja Mac as the future of Noah.
Look, man, I need someone to have. I need to have something to watch in the junior division, and it's Ninja Mac. It's not going to be Hayata. It's not going to be any of these other scrubs. I need Ninja Mac in there.
It should never be Hayata.
That's what I'm saying.
Ever. I just want to put that out there to the people listening. It never should be Hayata. He's not good. He's bad.
You want to talk about the N1? Yeah, let's talk about the N1.
Oh yeah, the N1's looking good, folks. Okay, so the match obviously hasn't started yet, but they're doing a 2-block system, and the majority of both blocks are really good. Really good. And the weak parts are like wrestlers that you know of. It's just like they're not up to the standard, I guess. But we'll see how they work. I'm actually intrigued by them. So, A block here. We'll talk about it. Okay. Kano, the GAC heavyweight champion. Kazuyuki Fujita, could be a little dangerous, but he's a good wrestler. I enjoy his matches. I want to put that out there. He's very physical. Go Shiozaki, Masato Tanaka, Masaki Mochizuki, which I thought was pretty cool. I didn't know if he was going to be in it or not. Hideki Suzuki, Hio Dr. Wagner Jr., and Anthony Green.
Look, somebody's got to beat Fujita, and we all know it's going to be Anthony Green. Yeah, baby.
Anthony Green. I'm happy for Anthony Green, first and foremost, like that he got such a big spot.
Yeah.
But this poor guy is going to get rocked.
He got Suzuki, I guess, he's going to get rocked by Suzuki, but they were both in NXT around the same time, so they're going to have a good match. Wagner, that should be fine. Kano, Fujita, Koshiozaki.
Fujita is going to punt this poor guy's head off and just put his foot on him and be like, yeah, I won.
It's going to be like a 2-minute match, maybe. I feel bad for Anthony Green against Fujita. I don't know. That's the match I really want to see the most, honestly. I guess now I'm thinking about it.
The most important part is we're getting Fujita versus Suzuki.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's gonna
30-minute draw guarantee. They're gonna be like, I'm not going over, brother. Well, someone's gotta lose. No.
Oh, fun fact, no one's gotta lose.
It's gonna be great. Someone literally grabbed the match graphic. Just like wrestling's beautiful.
It's so good. But Kano versus Go Shiozaki,
I think the other block might be better.
Yeah. The other block's really good. Who do you think is going to beat Fujita in this A block? Because he can't win every match, right?
He likes to lose to like shoot people, so he actually might lose to Suzuki.
That's true. I could see him maybe losing to Tanaka just because they're similar age.
Yeah, because he's old and they had a great title match actually earlier this year.
Same thing of Mochizuki, honestly.
Yeah, I can see Mochizuki because he's got the kickboxing background, karate, maybe exactly. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It should be an interesting way to book around him because they did it last year, but that's when they had like 4 blocks of like 4 people.
Yeah. Let's see. Who did he lose to, if at all? He lost to Funaki.
He's not fighting Funaki this time, so that's tough.
He beat Kiyomiya and he beat Saito and he lost to Funaki. That is what happened with Fujita.
Oh boy, that should be fun. That should be fun.
That's fine. I would say the people here facing up in this block are bigger names at this point.
Maybe Shiozaki. Maybe he loses to Go. But they're gonna book. I'm sure they'll book around it somehow.
Oh yeah, I think right now he's losing to Shiozaki. On the day of the match, I don't know.
They probably were like, okay, you could be in the tournament, but here's what you have to do. You have to. You can't. We can't be changing it the day of. We have this built perfectly. But let's talk about the B block. We have Masakatsu Funaki. This motherfucking guy needs to go away. Everyone gets mad about the old guys that don't want to lose, but like Funaki has had the worst title reign of maybe the year as the national champion. His title matches are awful. It's just so boring, and then he wins out of nowhere because like he could just make someone tap out at any time. I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. If I wanted to do this, I would have watched, like fucking grappling. Like I don't want to watch this. Just let him just hit people. So he leads the block. Kaito Kiyomiya, obviously a favorite after beating Keiji Muto. The back-to-back N1 victory winner, Katsuhiko Nakajima. He has won 2 years in a row. Takashi Sugiura. Who doesn't love Takashi Sugiura?
I love him. I'm in love.
Exactly. Masakita Miya. Satoshi Kojima.
Woo!
Timothy Thatcher.
Woo!
And Jack Morris.
Yeah.
It's a great block. It's a great block. I don't know who Jack Morris is. No one does. But it's a big opportunity for him. So I'm sure he's not going to just, sit there and not try.
Jack Morris is a 28-year-old Scottish wrestler, 5 years of in-ring experience. He's pretty much mainly a tag team guy. And just looking at his like career matchup and everything, it's just like it's just a lot of ICW and a lot of like different English, UK wrestlers. I don't see him wrestling anybody of any sort of name or ilk. I don't see him wrestling anybody that is even in Noah now, so I don't know how he got in. Maybe he just like wanted to break out a little bit, went to that Noah thing. It was like, hey, can someone get me in? And they got in. I mean, he has a match against Doug Williams and Jody Fleisch. That's pretty big name, I guess, for UK indie scene. Other than that, it's like tag team wrestler, some singles matches and stuff. But he's kind of he's a no-name guy. Honestly, he's just a simply no-name guy. He was in a tag match with Simon Miller from What Culture? Is that something? Is that a big match?
Go prove us wrong, Jack Morris.
Yeah, I'm interested. He has a good look, despite looking like a WWE call wrestler. He has a good look, and he is probably going to lose every single match. Probably maybe win one, but
he doesn't have a great block to beat anyone unless he beats like Thatcher.
Yeah, Thatcher would be the only person I can maybe see losing to that.
And Thatcher has a belt, so it's like
that's also true. He does have a belt. Well, let's talk about it. Who do you? I mean, Kojima, and Kojima's really the only guy here I can see maybe pulling, wins, trying to pull wins into his favor politically speaking. Everyone else is not. Maybe Funaki. Everyone else, I don't really see that too much. So, I mean, who do you got as? I mean, we didn't even talk about A block, but who do you got as your favorite for the B block? I mean, Nakajima going for a 3-peat.
Go with Kiyomiya.
Mm-hmm.
Just based off the big Muto win, though, I wouldn't have him win it because you don't want to do that match immediately unless he's winning, and I don't know if you want to keep hot potatoing the title.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to do that. So, yeah, I'd say Kiyomiya is probably the favorite, but honestly, would not be shocked if Nakajima made the finals again. Though he might be punished still. So
that is a great point. I would have said Nakajima. You got the 3-peat. At least in the block final, I could have maybe say Nakajima. Still could happen. But yeah, the punishment tour of Nakajima is very intriguing and interesting with this whole block. I could see the three people I can see legitimately in circling the block final is Kiyomiya, Nakajima, and Kojima. And it all comes down to me of how they are treating the Nakajima punishment tour. You know, Nakajima versus Kiyomiya would be good. Nakajima versus Kojima would be good. Kiyomiya versus Kojima would be good. It's all very interesting to me. And those are the three guys. If I had to pick one, I would love Kiyomiya. I think that would be really good. I could see them doing Kojima versus Kiyomiya and then having Kiyomiya win as the sort of Muto, as the Muto person.
Muto adjacent.
Yeah. I don't know if Kiyomiya would then win the overall thing, but because I'm looking at the A block and I don't know. Go, I would love. I don't think Kano just because he's champion.
It should be Go, but who will it actually be? I do not know.
It should be Go. I don't think it'd be Kano because he's champion, and then also Vegeta's there. So it's like,
It shouldn't not be the title licker. Let's just say that.
No. Vegeta versus Go, I could see as a block final. I think that's a potential block final. So then we get Vegeta, Vegeta versus Kojima.
Like, there's gonna be a lot of good matches, but I don't know who's gonna win. That's last year's tournament final between Kaito and Kano was one of my favorite matches of the year. It's the match that made me actually want to watch Noah. So I hope that whatever the final is, it's great.
Oh yeah. I guess there's also a chance we can get Funaki in there as well, since he was in the semifinals last year against Nakajima.
Please no.
He is a champion. He is. Maybe he loses to Kiyomiya, and then Kiyomiya is a challenger.
If we're gonna pick an old guy to win this, I'm picking Segura.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I want Segura as well. Everybody wants Segura. Look at this man.
Him and Kano.
Man, hot baby. I'm excited for when does the N1 start? Do you have it in front of you?
August 11th.
August 11th. Not really right around the corner.
Tournament season.
Not really right around the corner, but coming
we're not going to talk about it again until it actually happens. So
yeah, we certainly got
some
time.
It was now or never. It was now or never for Jack Morris to get the. You know what? We should try to get Jack Morris on the pod.
All right, let's do it. Get that thick Scottish accent. Let's get it. We could probably get Jack Morris on the show before
literally
the
never
N1.
Heard him speak, so I never heard him speak, so I don't know how thick his accent is, but I'm sure you're not wrong.
I'm literally looking him up somehow. I'm sure we can get Jack Morris on the show. Oh wait, Jack Morris, that's an actual YouTuber apparently. Jack Morris wrestler. God.
Jack Morris wrestler. The phone.
There's really not a lot.
The phone is ringing.
There really is not a lot. I feel like we can get Jack Morris on the phone before the N1. That'd be fun.
Jack Morris, welcome.
Maybe that was him on the phone. Maybe that was him calling you right now.
Yeah, maybe it was. But anyways, let's move on.
Ring of Honor has a show this upcoming Saturday, Death Before Dishonor. Yes, it is this Saturday in Lowell, Massachusetts at the Songas Center.
Songas Center, yeah.
It is the second pay-per-view under the TK Tony Khan Ring of Honor banner.
I count this as the official first pay-per-view.
I agree. This is certainly the first official. The other one had like pre-booking before TK, and other people had to get booked and all this other stuff. So this is like really showing what we got. And you know, there might be more matches announced. We also might get a 0 hour. I wouldn't be surprised about that. But at the moment, we got 5 matches. We got 5 titles. Every match is a title match, baby. And we got everything in front of us. So, Scotty, are you ready to preview Death Before Dishonor?
I am. You know, it's funny. At the end of last year, we had this big conversation about Ring of Honor's dead or gonna be dead. And now we're sitting here all these months later talking about a Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view that might be, on paper, one of the best Ring of Honor pay-per-views in a year or multiple years, just based on what could come from these matches.
Yeah.
And talk about who's in these matches. I have a lot of confidence it should be a great show.
Same. I think this show should be fantastic. Everything on here looks
the world
really
title
good.
Should not main event.
I also agree. I also agree. It should be the World Tag Team titles, but of course we'll get to that. Let's start off here with the Ring of Honor World Television Title match. Samoa Joe defending his title is returning from kayfabe injury to defend his title against one Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal, of course, got Sanjay Dutt. He's got the big man. They're suddenly forgetting his name. So will they get involved? Satnam Singh. There it is. Will they get involved? Who knows? But it will be Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal. Who do you got?
Is Samoa Joe hurt?
No. I believe he was filming a movie.
Okay. I haven't seen this guy in forever.
He was kayfabe injured, written off to go film a movie.
Yeah, this is like the one match that's fully built up besides the tag title match, because of just obvious reasons. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm not that big of a Jay Lethal fan, but I am a big Samoa Joe fan. I'm sure they'll have a good match. Joe's been pretty good for the most part since he's come back.
Yeah.
So I think they should go out there and have a good physical match. Who wins? Hopefully Joe.
Yeah, I feel like it could be Joe. I don't know. It's really interesting is that I don't read a lot of these matches. I don't really know. I'm not really picking up on anything specifically about who could win. I think Jay Lethal is a possible pick. I think it's interesting. If he wins, they can continue this feud of Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal. But if Jay Lethal also wins, you can have Samoa Joe move on to like doing cool AEW stuff.
AEW stuff, yeah.
Boy, that
could be it.
That's also a very interesting question about what is this Ring of Honor roster? Is Samoa Joe on the Ring of Honor roster? Is he on AEW's roster?
He did get the AEW graphic.
That is true. But also didn't Claudio get it? And then TK said that he was going to put him in Ring of Honor. So I don't know. I just don't know anymore. The whole thing is very interesting to me. But Samoa Joe, I think I would love to see Samoa Joe win, but I could see Jay Lethal pulling out the win, having Satnam Singh get involved, having Sanjay Dutt get involved. And somehow Jay Lethal ekes out a victory over his former mentor, Samoa Joe.
Sure, whatever.
Not interested in the match anymore, are you?
I don't like Jay Lethal, so no.
Fair enough.
Whatever. I don't care. I hope Joe wins.
All right. Ring of Honor Women's World Title match: Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb.
I think Serena Deeb should win.
I agree. I completely agree.
She's teasing a new faction too. She teased it at Dark. It was like the Deeb Dojo or something. So she's teasing something, and I think this could be the start of it. Maybe someone helps her, assists her to get her the win, beat Mercedes Martinez, and kind of lead that women's division. This isn't a shot at Martinez, but I do think Deeb's a lot better currently. She's not really because of age, but I just think Deeb is the better wrestler. And if you want to really develop that women's division in Ring of Honor, having Deeb at the top would be really, really smart.
I agree. I think you put the title on the heel to help develop that women's division. Deeb Dojo, that could be interesting. That could also be a good way of like sort of, different element to add to this whole thing. I don't know who those faction members would be.
It could literally be like Sky Blue. I don't know.
I was gonna say, and hear me out. I was gonna say the Renegade Twins.
Ooh, I like them. They're good.
I believe they're getting.
They get wrecked every time they show up, but they're good.
They do, so they might need some training in the Deeb Dojo. I believe also they're getting a win on Dark, which makes me think, oh, that's interesting. I think the win on Dark is maybe this week, actually. I don't know. I think Deeb would be a better pick. I'm not a huge fan of Mercedes Martinez as well. I think I would just prefer Deeb to have the title, generally speaking, but I think also smartly speaking, it would just be a better thing for the division for maybe to have Deeb hold the title. Especially
Yeah.
if Lethal's not winning the title, then I would definitely also put the title on Deeb. If weirdly enough.
Then I definitely hope Joe and Dee win. That would be how I'd book this, TK. Tony, if you're listening, I know you're not, but if you are, give it to Joe. Let Joe keep the belt. Give it to Deeb, and you'll hear the rest of my pitches for the rest of the show. So just stay tuned.
Yeah, if every match is also a title match, there's got to be a title change, and we don't.
You got to toss. Well, that's true. You got to toss. We need other matches on this card, like 1 or 2, I think. But I like it mostly being all title matches because it gives every match time to breathe. It kind of feels like an NXT takeover in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
from back in the day when they just do titles.
Yeah,
and that's cool with me because you don't have a TV show to build up stories, so it's good not to just toss on a bunch of matches that are random, but you should toss on like 1 or 2. Also, sign Bandito. God, I'm gonna get stuck with him being an Impact.
Yeah,
Is it gonna be Black to Roost?
Black
treated disrespectfully.
That's true. That's definitely true. Yeah, I can see some 0 hour. I can see at least like 2 0-hour matches, if not anything to the main card.
Yeah, you should probably put Brian Cage and the 2 goons with them.
That's true. We don't have a Brian Cage match. We don't have a Gates of Agony match.
Brian Cage just becoming a background player is like, man, that's tough.
Remember when it was like, oh yeah, Brian Cage versus Kenny Omega, and now here we are. Ring of Honor Pure title match: Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia. There was a really good on the like road to countdown, whatever they were calling it, on YouTube. Really good promo off between Yuta and Garcia in like a one-on-one setting. Yuta's bringing up, this match is set up as pro wrestler versus sports entertainer, but I thought you and I were cut from the same cloth. I thought you were a pro wrestler. Where is that guy who had a 1 hour draw in a 100-degree warehouse with me? Where is that guy, after the car accident? And Garcia's like, no, don't bring up the car accident. And they really get into it. Very good stuff. Very excited about this match, this pure title match, Wheeler Yuta versus Garcia. I could go either way on this one personally. I got no feelings and I don't care. I'm expecting a real good match.
All right. This is the match that I have to finally admit. I am not as high on these two as anyone. It's just the truth. I think they're both really good when they're wrestling people that are better than them. That's cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't watch their hour-long match last year because, well, it was an hour long. So, like, it takes a lot for me to commit to that. If I know it's going to be like an Omega Okada classic, yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I did not watch this. So this for me going into it's like, okay, prove me wrong. Because I am always happy to admit when I'm wrong. When it doesn't happen that much. But when it happens, I'm happy to admit it. And these two, I think, have been great in their roles as part of the separate faction. So I think, Garcia's been great as part of the Jericho Appreciation Society, even though I think he's kind of a nerd. But that's kind of the point. Like, anytime he does stuff, like he has the hat, that's the whole point of the gimmicks. Like, you're supposed to be kind of like nerdy, and he does it well.
Yeah, he's getting heel heat. He's getting heel.
And then Wheeler Yuta's a great killer. He, hit the match with Moxley, obviously, just that put him over the top, and he's been really good. But I watched this Best of Super Juniors, and I think everyone can admit he was very underwhelming in that tournament. But these two know each other well. They get a big spot here where pretty much the mid card title or the second mid card title. Is this Pure Rules?
Yes.
See, that's why I'm worried. Okay, that's why I'm worried here, because you can only go so far without Pure Rules can ruin matches. You and me have talked about this. Now, there are Jonathan Gresham Pure Rules matches we liked, but there are also ones we didn't like. And that's really where this conversation goes back and forth. I think this match, confidently, I do think this match will be really good. I just don't know if it can get to that level that so many people are hyping it up to be because of those factors that I have as a fan. Is I'm not as high on both of them. Plus, Pure Rules kind of stink. So it's like I gotta I temper my expectations, but I do hope that after I watch this match, I just sit there and just clap and like that was fantastic. You both proved me wrong. You guys did it together. I don't care who wins at all. I think there's a story behind Yuta winning, and there's obviously a story behind Garcia winning. But this is what I wanted from Ring of Honor. I wanted these two guys getting a big match on a pay-per-view.
Mhm.
Like that's what this show should be about, is having those young guys like Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, Lee Moriarty, all these guys. This is the brand they should be on every single week. It makes Ring of Honor fresh. It gives them a purpose.
Mhm.
And I think in the end, I'm gonna sit there and say, you know what? You guys did great. I think despite my concerns, I'm gonna sit there at the end and be like, that was a great match.
Yeah, totally. I get what you're saying though. That the reminder of it is pure rules.
Yeah.
It's hard for not everyone is great at pure rules matches. Even technical wrestlers are not always great at pure rules matches. It's a very specific gimmick that doesn't always work, and it really depends on the wrestlers involved. I recall when he was in Ring of Honor that Wheeler Yuta was pretty good, pretty decent at pure rules matches. He wasn't bad at it. But it wasn't, it was hit or miss maybe. Daniel Garcia, I haven't seen a pure rules match of his. I guess there is one technically on Dark, so I got to go check that out against him versus Allen Five Angels. So I definitely got to go check that out to see how he might be doing in that sort of gimmick style. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. That it is hit or miss. It is when you're doing these pure rules matches, it's hit or miss because it doesn't always work for every single person. I
Yeah.
personally feel like it might work. I need to watch that dark match to really feel like Garcia's got it. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think it's certainly gonna be interesting between the two. And
Because like the way they've built the feud is like there should be blood, there should be,
mhm.
these two should probably kill each other, but like Pure Rules does not fully allow that. And I don't know, I kind of get bored from like just technical exchange after technical exchange
Yeah.
too. So
The thing about pure rules matches is that people come at it thinking that it should always be like just technical wrestling, but it shouldn't be. What makes pure rules exciting in a weird way, what makes pure rules exciting is the constant butting up against the rules in a
mm,
weird way. Like someone being like so frustrated that just, close fist punch someone in the jaw,
yeah.
that, and then be like, ah, they, one more of that, and you'll get disqualified. That's an exciting little bit. Um, which I could totally see that happening.
Listen, I'm gonna feel very, very. I think my opinions are gonna be either really correct or really wrong
Mhm.
after this match. There's no middle ground. Like I think
Yeah.
it's one way or the other.
It either
Um,
works or it doesn't. This match either works or it doesn't.
yeah, yeah, and they've worked so much together that I feel like they can do it.
Totally agree. Let's talk about the match that we both think should not be the main event, despite it being a world title match. Ring of Honor world title match. Jonathan Gresham, now with Tully Blanchard in his corner. He's part of the Tully Blanchard Enterprises, I think is what it's called. Versus Claudio Castagnoli. Now, if you're
The king
TK
of
and
swing.
if you're TK sitting in that room, how tantalizing is putting the world title on Claudio? Is this a lock?
I, you know,
Is this a lock and a half?
I don't know, because you do the term with Gresham. You've had him waiting for so long, but you know the funny thing is, like, everyone's gonna be like, well, it's really his first defense. It's not at all, actually. He's had the title for 221 days. He's defended it 17 times, just not necessarily always on shows where you see him,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
So, like, that's the part you play here. How do you have Claudio lose? Unless they cheat. Unless he cheats. How do you have Claudio lose?
I don't know. It's cheating, really. That's the only way I can think of. Now, because the argument is like, you're talking about the cheating angle. I'm also thinking about of them being both technical wrestler guys. We just established Claudio as potentially one of the best technical wrestlers in the world by beating Zack Sabre Jr.
Without doing technical wrestling.
Yeah. Yes. But by beating Zack Sabre Jr., being Danielson's pick and beating Zack Sabre Jr. Now he's against Gresham. Are we going to say Gresham is better than Claudio? Or are we going to say that Claudio is actually a really good technical wrestler?
Yeah.
So.
You know what? I could see Gresham win if they want to do a Danielson match. Because that's kind of I kind of feel like that's where they want to go with this. Because, you had Gresham go on TV. He's like, I'm the best wrestler. I'm going to make all your favorites lose. And doing all that, you have the Blackpool Combat Club going on here. But then there's the part of, well, you could make Claudio a world champion.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal. And I just want to go through the names that Gresham has defended this title against real quick, because I think it gives an idea of like how many times he's actually defended the title.
Yeah.
And who he's defending against. So AJ Gray, not a great start. Adam Priest, Chris Sabin, Steve Macklin, Too Cold Scorpio, Josh Alexander. I'm pretty sure you were at that match.
I was.
Chris Ridgway, Cody Chun, 2 H's.
Cody Chun.
I think it's Chun. Chun. Sorry. Apologize. Nick Aldis, Dean Allmark, Santana of Santana Ortiz.
That was that one too. That one stunk.
Oh, nice. Emeritus, I don't know who that is. Fabio doesn't even have a cage match. Cara Noir, he defeated Cara Noir. Bandito, of course. Dalton Castle and Lee Moriarty. So he's defended the title a lot. A decent crop of names there. It really just depends on where they want to go with this Tully Blanchard's Enterprises story that they've just done. Do they want him to be that champion, or do they just want to get it to Claudio? That's really the conversation we're having here. If I had to predict right now, I think Gresham walks out with the belt.
Really?
Yeah. Because to me, you do the turn, you're gonna have people at ringside. I don't know.
I think it's gonna be Claudio.
I'm 50-50. I prefer if it's Claudio.
I think it's Claudio. I'm thinking TK is like, Claudio never held the Ring of Honor title, and he's gonna put it on Claudio just to make himself happy. I think it's gonna be Claudio because he's been established as a good technical wrestler, so he can be the world champ. I'm frustrated about it, but I'm also looking at the size difference in Gresham and Claudio and Gresham. And the other thing I'm worried about is legitimately the turn is there. I think the turn adds interest in this match and gives Gresham a good chance of winning and stuff. However, I do have concerns about Gresham and the Tully Blanchard Enterprises, TBE, because Brian Cage is also in there. And yes, we're joking about Brian Cage being an afterthought, but what if Brian Cage is supposed to be world title contender of that group and not Gresham, and they're moving Gresham down to the pure division or something like that? These are my concerns, is that I could see easily doing a Claudio versus Brian Cage match. And so that is where I'm at, is that I feel like they put him in there, they're going to slot him down, move Cage up to make Cage more important, and then he's going to face off against Claudio at some point. I don't know if he'll win. I think he'll lose, but then because then we can get Gresham in a division that he's definitely really good in. Gresham versus Garcia, Gresham versus Yuta, Gresham versus Lee Moriarty, Gresham versus other wrestlers. This is what I'm thinking. I think that there are more things you could do with Claudio winning than there is Gresham winning. And I don't necessarily like it, but I think that's what they're going to do.
All right. Claudio wins.
Yeah.
That's my preference. If I got to do my preferences for every win, Claudio would be winning.
Yeah. Let's talk about our main event, Ring of Honor World Tag Team Title, best 2 out of 3 falls match, FTR versus the Briscoes, number 2. This first match at Supercard of Honor in April was already discussed as potentially match of the year. Certainly tag team match of
It's
the year at
still
the
my
moment.
match of the year.
I think it's
to this
also
date.
I think it's also currently my match of the year. And we're gonna get a second one. And it's gonna be a 2 out of 3 falls match. A match that the Briscoes have won every time they've competed in against FTR. Scotty.
You know what this?
Whew,
You know
boy.
what's, okay, well, before I pick who wins and where this goes, for one, it's gonna be phenomenal.
Mhm.
FTR, I've watched them have one of my favorite tag team matches of all time in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. That was, of course, against DIY back in NXT. One of my favorite matches I've ever seen.
Mhm.
They're doing it against the Briscoes. They've already shown in one match they have magic against one another. You're going to have a hot crowd. You're going to, hopefully, I think they should have the main event spotlight. It's going to be hard for anyone to follow them if that's the case. And I know people like to have that world title in the main event, but this is the match. It's built as the match of the show. The Briscoes need to be signed to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
If they, so you know, we have the stories with Warner Media, blah blah blah. Listen, they are now on Bleacher Report. Like this is where this pay-per-view is going to be. They are now on Warner Media content. That is what's happening. So just no matter what, I think the Briscoes need to be part of this moving forward. They don't feel right anywhere else. They need to be in Ring of Honor. And maybe they could dip their toe in AEW, but they need to be in this group because they're one of the best tag teams in the world, still to this day, all these years later. Back to the match.
Well, can I talk about that point real quick? Because
Yes.
I'll take it one step further. I think they're gonna be in Ring of Honor. I completely agree with what you just said, and I think that's a great point. Warner Media were the people that did not want the Briscoes anymore, didn't want to deal with the Briscoes, and then the Briscoes lost, and we all moved on. Now the Briscoes are back. This stuff is Warner Media content for sure. Just based on how things are shaking out, going on Bleacher Report, etc., etc. I think they didn't have to bring the Briscoes back, right? AEW didn't have to bring the Briscoes back, and I'm certainly they wouldn't have brought them back without Warner Media's approval, right?
Right.
So the fact that they're back makes me really think that I think the Briscoes are going to be in Ring of Honor. I legitimately think that, and I'm fucking here for it, dude. Oh, holy shit, I'm here for it.
I'm happy I don't have to live through the GCW and Impact days anymore, hopefully, of the Briscoes, because they just weren't the same. Or NWA too. I know they were there as well.
Yeah.
This is going to be, I'm so confident in these two teams. This will be another match of the year contender. Like
I agree.
I don't know like how many people listening have been there live for any of this FTR run since they've really turned it up this year.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone that was in the building literally the first show after that Ring of Honor pay-per-view when they faced the Young Bucks, I know what's going to happen here. There's just a magic about what they're doing right now. And when you mix in the Briscoes and their story and that great sit down interview that they did with Caprice, that was awesome. Like that was legitimately awesome. So well done. They know they have magic here. Don't risk it. Put it in the main event. Nothing on this show is going to be better. Claudio and Gresham could have a fantastic match. It's not going to be better.
Yeah.
That's how confident I am in these two teams. Who wins? I do think FTR keeps the titles. Unless there is always that possibility that the Briscoes win because they win all the time. They have how many title reigns now? Like 14, 15? They have a lot. I do think FTR wins. I think FTR should win. But I want to bring this up about the show overall. There's going to be some surprises on this show. Tony's not showing up. Just here's 5 matches and we're going out. Maybe they add 2 more matches, but there's going to be surprises on the show. Last time we got the Young Bucks going out, they teased the match with the Briscoes. They never did it. Could see that happen again. Remember, the Young Bucks no longer have titles.
Yeah,
they gotta look somewhere else. And you got to set up a match for what is it? All out for the Young Bucks.
Yep.
And FTR obviously needs a match. And I think if those AEW tag titles are going to keep busy, this is a way to set that up as well. There's so many ways to go here, but I cannot wait for this match. This is the match of the weekend.
You know, you could also have like the Briscoes win this match, and then you can do at the next pay-per-view or whatever for Ring of Honor, Young Bucks versus the Briscoes versus FTR.
Yeah. Or you could just wait, do the Briscoes versus Young Bucks at All Out, then do that. Then do the 3-way.
Yeah.
But the thing with FTR is they're already holding 2 other titles, so like I have a tough time seeing them lose.
Yeah.
Like the AAA ones don't matter. Let's just be honest here that AAA doesn't care about them. Otherwise, they would use them.
Yeah.
But the IWGP ones do matter a little bit.
Yes.
So that's kind of where that conversation comes, and they're working that, and they're working towards an FTR Aussie Open match. So it's like FTR is just having themselves a time. But I like your idea too. Even if they wanted to do that on All Out, I wouldn't be shocked if they just wanted to do that triple threat instead of waiting for Ring of Honor pay-per-view. They could just do those 3. Even if FTR wins, maybe the Young Bucks screw the Briscoes. Like there's ways to go here. But it should be great. It would be a lot of heat though if they had the Briscoes get screwed in a best 2 out of 3 falls match.
Yeah, I think I could see the Young Bucks getting involved in some capacity just because of how it played out last time. You know, yes, that played out and played into a tag match for the titles the following Wednesday. And it was just a building to that Dynamite. But if you can continue them in that sphere, then you can have the Young Bucks, the Briscoes, the FTR all sort of fighting for the Ring of Honor tag titles, and that could be very interesting to me. Yeah, if I was TK and I'm able to bring back the Briscoes, I would put the titles on the Briscoes here. Because not only would that be interesting, it would be in line with the best of 2 out of 3 falls and stuff. Yep. It would also, you have a third match of FTR versus the Briscoes. And you know how much wrestlers love trilogies. And then you could also include the Young Bucks. You could do then on Dynamite the Young Bucks versus the Briscoes. You can do on Dynamite, something of that ilk, and then having the Young Bucks being involved in some sort of triple threat down the line. That's what I can see moving forward. That's how I would handle it based off of the previous stuff. But the Young Bucks also might not get involved whatsoever. I think the fact that it's 2 out of 3 falls makes it feel more like the Briscoes should have the titles. I think the Briscoes should have these titles. Quite honestly, I get what you're saying that they're concerned about the FTR holding other titles. But I don't know. There's also the idea that the Briscoes want the IWGP tag titles as well. So I could see them being like, oh, we beat you. Now we can challenge for the IWGPs. They lose that. Yada, yada, yada. So this match is super interesting to me of how everything could play out. Same thing with the Claudio thing. I think it's way more interesting for the Briscoes to win, and there's way more story potential with the Briscoes winning than FTR. FTR winning is very cool, but then it's just like, all right, what's next?
Did you predict 5 new champions today?
No, I don't think I said who would win between Garcia and Yuta, but I would pick Yuta. I would pick Wheeler.
Okay.
Yuta.
Okay. So
I think I picked at minimum 3, maybe 4.
I think you picked 4.
Oh, I
picked Deeb.
I picked Deeb.
You picked the Briscoes. You picked Claudio. And you picked Lethal.
But I did say, and that's why I said by 3. I did say that if Lethal doesn't win, then you switch to Deeb. So that one I would say is like it could go either one.
3's fair. Any more could be a little bit extreme.
It is true. I did do that.
Any more is like TK said. Yeah, I never wanted any of this shit.
Look, I'm just doing what I got at the time. Yeah, no, I think the Briscoes would just be a better move. FTR, I could see them retaining, but if FTR retains, then I could see the next Ring of Honor show being FTR versus the Young Bucks for the titles. I think the Young Bucks are going to get involved in this title division, and I think that's part of the reason why all this like why it's not happening. Why FTR never challenged for the Young Bucks for the tag titles. I think they're saving it for a Ring of Honor thing.
You know what? I think we should just admit that the tag titles should be the main event of this promotion moving forward.
Well, put it on Claudio. There's a chance that Claudio versus somebody cool right now. But I did say Brian Cage. That's not necessarily true. Here's the other thing about the promotion. I think you're right. The tag titles should defend for a while because the tag titles have at least 3 interesting teams that can circle around this. And then you got the Gates.
Everything else is like, I don't know.
Yeah. And then you got Gates of Agony underneath. Let's talk about the singles men's division. Who is in this roster? We got Gresham, we got Claudio, we got Brian Cage, I guess Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal. Anyone else? I mean, Claudio versus Samoa Joe, that's a world title that I can main event. Oh, that's a title that can main event a show. Hold on. Hold on. Jay Lethal gets the win. 4 title changes. I'm talking myself into it. Oh my God. Anyways. Ring of Honor, that's this Saturday. That should be real good. It's on.
I just want to say, I did say FTR versus the Briscoes would be the match of the weekend, and I just remembered Sherry versus Tam Nakano is happening, so I'm gonna pump the brakes for a second.
Go pump the brakes, man. It should be good. It's on Bleacher Report.
It should be the match of the weekend.
Not on Fight. Not on Fight. It is on Bleacher Report this time, which is very.
It's on Fight for anyone that's international listening to us.
Yes, that is true. Want to do a little quick G1 Climax update? Just a little quick.
Do I have a choice?
Yes, you do.
Oh, no.
All right, we're not going to do it then. Let's.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We can do
it. You have as much of a choice as I do, good sir. So there are 3 nights of G1 Climax by the time this happened. Were you able to watch G1 Climax night 3 this morning?
No, and I was only going to watch the main event. So
okay, then that's fine. Well, I'm just going to go.
I already know who won.
Perfect. So I also watched that one in the main event. Let's talk about I'm just going to quickly read off the matches from night 1, and if you have any thoughts about that match, any of those matches after I read all of them, you could say the deal. Night 1, we had C Block tournament match. Hiroshi Tanahashi losing to Aaron Henare. We have Will Ospreay.
Fuck that.
Will Ospreay defeating El Phantasmo in the D Block tournament. We have B Block Sonata defeating Jay White defeating Sonata. And then A Block we had Kazuchika Okada defeating Jeff Cobb. So any thoughts on those 4 matches?
I know you're doing your family reunion and you were busy and doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this, but I said Tanahashi needs some more Muto in him. I'm sick. Sick of this guy losing to scrubs. And don't get me wrong, Aaron Henare, I have no problem with him. He's like so aggressively fine as a wrestler that like him beating Tanahashi hurts me in every part of my being. It's the Chase Owens loss of this year. I get it.
Yeah.
But like, this is Hiroshi Tanahashi, guys. Like, come on. The other matches were good. The main event was fantastic, actually.
I sort of agree. It's like Tanahashi likes Henare and it's going to put him over to have him get the win, but it is like aggressively fine. But also at the same time, it's also the G1 Climax. Tanahashi is not going to win every match, so Henare is a good person to lose against.
Like, I understand New Japan had that big thing. They're like, yeah, we want to get younger. Okay, if you wanted to get younger, Shota Umino and Ren Narita would have been over here, 6 months ago. So clearly you don't want to get younger that quickly. Also, because they've been ready. I don't know how much they could do in Rev Pro to get ready.
Yeah.
Are strong. But the other thing is, Hiroshi Tanahashi's different from your old generation. Like, you can't just put him in the background like you do with Kojima and Nagata and Tenzan. Like, he's different from them. And that's why Kojima and Nagata are doing stuff outside, because they're still capable of having great matches. But Tanahashi's different. You can't do that with him. He still has another run in him if you want it from him. So every year that he has to do these losses to, I'm sorry, the low card of this company, it just sucks. It just sucks. And it's fine. He put over Hanare. I know they have a relationship. They used to be tag partners and whatnot. But man, it's just, come on.
That's true. They used to be tag partners. Totally forgot about that part of it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought Will Ospreay, El Fantasma put on a really good match.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of bored about Sonata Jay White, and then
it got boring.
Okada Cobb was pretty good. Pretty good. Not as good as the
Pretty
previous
good.
matches. Not as good as the previous matches, but still good. I guess is how
I
I
thought it
define
was
it.
a great match. I don't remember their previous matches, to be fair, because my brain is mush.
Mhm.
But I think their match last year was better off the top of my head from the G1.
Yeah.
But I thought this was still really good.
Yeah.
Good way to kick off the G1.
I agree. Night 2, we had 4 more matches. B block, we had Taichi defeating Tomohiro Ishii.
Oof,
we
that
had
match was great.
A block match, Toru Yano defeating Jonah by countout. C block match, Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Kenta with the move titled "Smell My Vegan Cheese, You Mother." And in the D block match, we had Juice Robinson defeating Shingo. So I feel like a lot of upsets here in this second night, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with the first one. I think Taichi winning was what I expected. Ishii wasn't even supposed to be in this tournament, so I don't consider that an upset. Taichi was great. Ishii was great. Great match.
Great match.
Right off the bat.
Weirdly, I think so far match of the tournament for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's high.
That's
high praise.
It was really great. It was like it was the Taichi I want to see. Like, it was just so good.
You just love Ishii too.
That's also true. I'm
like,
Ishii.
I think every time he has a big match, we walk away from it and you're like, wow, that was like the best match of all time. It's like, okay, well, it was Ishii, so I mean, you've seen it 75 other times, but okay, sure. I'm just kidding. This one was great. One was great. I'm just being a jerk. I didn't watch Yano versus Jonah. Sad to hear Jonah lost, though. That's kind of humiliating for your first match.
Would you like to know the finish of the match?
Yes.
Jonah and Yano are fighting on the outside. Bad Dude Tita comes over. Yano throws Bad Dude Tita into Jonah, who they're kind of like in a hug position. Yano then low blows both of them, runs back in the ring. Jonah can't make it back in time.
Kenta's back, baby. This is my Kenta right here. Now, he lost. And it's very unfortunate. But he was ruthless. He was devastating. I read today that him and Jay White were not on the same page in their tag title match, or not tag titles, just tag match. And I was like, oh, are you hinting to me I'm getting full-time Kenta back? Because you don't tease me with that. Kenta was great in here. Zach was great in here. Oh, I love this match. Just very physical, really good stuff.
Yeah.
I thought night 2 was actually better than night 1 overall as a show. And I actually really liked the main event. The finish was flat, obviously, because Juice couldn't get Shingo up, so he just did the pulp friction.
Yeah.
But I thought Juice was really good. I actually like Bullet Club Juice.
I do too.
I think the Rock Hard Man's figuring it out. I think he plays a good heel. I like hearing. So it's funny because like some people don't like when wrestlers talk during their matches, but Juice is like a phenomenal promo.
Yeah.
So I like hearing him do it because he's also very funny. I thought him and Shingo was really good though. He beat him clean, which was very shocking.
I just like Juice Robinson because he has the.
I missed him, by the way, dearly.
He has like the vibe of a Doc Gallows, but like much more better wrestling. If that makes sense.
He's talented. He can be grimy, but he's like good.
He's real good, and
I miss Juice a lot.
I miss Juice too. I'm glad to see him back. Glad to see him okay and all that jazz.
Did he walk out with the title?
He did walk out with the title. He 100% walked out with the title, and he stole the announcer's microphone and announced himself as the IWGP US Heavyweight Champion.
I said I missed Juice, like I really missed Juice or something, and someone commented, "He's like, I like Juice, but you're probably the only person not engaged to him to ever say this."
I like Juice too. Juice is good. I've always liked Juice. I've always been a Juice guy.
Juice is great. I'm really excited. I thought Shingo was really good in this match. Obviously, I don't want to take away from what Shingo did, but I really liked what they did. They kept trading back the jabs, which was fun too. But yeah, that was my favorite show of the G1 so far.
I agree. Night 3, which we'll quickly go through since we haven't watched it, but just to get a little bit.
I'm not watching 3 of the matches, anyways.
We'll get a little updates. D Block tournament. It was get ready. Strap in. D-Block tournament, it was Yujiro Takahashi defeating David Finlay in 12 minutes.
You're goddamn right. House of Torture represent.
I saw someone on Twitter surmise that because he's carrying a shillelagh, that David Finlay might join House of Torture.
I saw that too.
And I was like, I've been thinking about it for the past couple of days.
I think David Finlay needs a group.
Yeah, but the problem with it is I don't know about Juice turning and going to Bullet Club, and then also David Finlay turning and joining Evo, which is kind of also Bullet Club. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the part that I'm worried. I mean, unless House of Torture fully breaks away, then sure. But the fact that it'll be both Bullet Club, I don't know. B Block tournament match: Tama Tonga defeated Chase Owens. A Block tournament match: Bad Luck Fale defeated Lance Archer. And then I watched this main event. It was Hiroki Goto defeated Tetsuya Naito and C Block.
No. If Tony Khan never wants to work with New Japan again because of that booking, I get it. That's disgusting.
Bad Luck Fale versus over Lance Archer by count out. It says 10 minutes, 46 seconds, count out. Podcast Network.
Nice.
Thank you. It's not good.
I'm just happy they acknowledged that the day was shitty, so they're like, yeah, here's all these shitty results. Happy Yujiro won, of course. Happy Tama Tonga won because it means Chase Owens didn't win. And I'm blocked by him on Twitter. It's not really shocking. I actually blocked him first, but it's fine. We equally blocked each other. Because I didn't want to see his tweets pop up. And I was like, why am I seeing Chase Owens' tweets pop up? Anyways, so yeah, he sucks. What was the third match? Oh, that's ridiculous.
Lance Archer.
Won.
By count out, that's just upsetting. It's just upsetting. We couldn't even.
I hope every time an AEW wrestler is booked to lose in New Japan from now on, they just get to a bad wrestler. It's just via count out.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, yeah, you know what? Here, he can beat him, but it has to be via count out. That's so lame.
Yeah. Especially count out 2 nights in a row.
Who is... you can talk about the main event since I didn't see it.
The main event, C Block tournament match. Hiroki Goto defeated Tetsuya Naito. Very good match. Very, very good match. Almost a great match, I would say. But it was right on the cusp of being great. The beginning of the match was kind of slow. It was still good, but kind of slow. And then the second half of the match, last third, really picked up. Crowd got super into it. Goto and Naito doing a lot of fantastic spots, reversing brain buster kind of moves, and I think it was a brain buster. And reversing moves, just a lot of good stuff. Crowd was fully behind Tetsuya, but also super behind Hiroki Goto. And then you get the surprise win of Goto beating Naito. The upset win of Goto beating Naito. Crowd super popped for Goto winning. Just like a surprise, like, whoa! And I think there was even some crowd like, noise in terms of vocals. Very good. Very, very, yeah, they all sounded like that. Very good match. Very, definitely a match to go out and watch. 100%.
So looking at the last day now, this is important.
Yeah.
Lance Archer is part of that last day. He faces Okada. So there's probably a good chance he's in contention. It's also Jonah versus Bad Luck Fale, so that could mean really bad things for all of us.
Whew.
Tomohiro Ishii versus Sonata. Interesting.
Could go either way, honestly.
I'm guessing Sonata's probably in the. So he obviously lost his first one.
Yes.
As did Ishii. So I'm guessing Sonata's in the conversation at least. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so the day before that is Tai Chi versus Great Khan. Interesting. Because that's a big one. Interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things.
The B block's really weird. There's no clear winner just because Jay White has the world title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Besides, I guess Jay White winning.
So that means C block Hiroki Goto versus Evil. So are you telling me Hiroki Goto has a shot? No, he probably doesn't.
He couldn't get the AEW title, so he's going after the IWGP.
As he should. Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr., Shingo versus El Phantasmo, and Ospreay versus Juice. Good to keep in mind.
Ospreay versus Juice could be a contender for the block, I think.
Yeah, to me, 3 blocks are already set.
I could also see Juice winning the block based off of that.
That would be a move.
Because, well, then you could, then it's like, oh, I should win because I'm the challenger, and Ospreay being like, well, I'm actual champion, and that could build into a match, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That could build into a proper match.
I mean, hey, G1's heating up.
So the current standings at the moment are Block A with 2 points. Obviously, this is doesn't really tell us anything, really. Block A with 2 points is Okada, Yano, and Bad Luck Fale. 0 points is Cobb, Archer, Lawler, and Jonah. Lawler, I believe, is the only one that has not wrestled yet. B block, we have 2 points of Jay White, Taichi, and Tama Tonga, with Ishii, Sonata, Great Khan, and Chase Owens all have 0 points. Great Khan has not wrestled yet. Block C, Hanare, Zack Sabre Jr., and Goto all have 2 points, with Evil, Naito, Kenta, and Tanahashi, who all have 0 points. Evil has not wrestled yet. And Block D, Ospreay, Robinson, and Takahashi all have 2 points, with Shingo, Yoshihashi, El Phantasmo, David Finlay all have 0 points, of Yoshihashi not wrestling yet. So basically, still anybody's game. But those are your early predictors of potential winners, I guess.
Yeah.
So good stuff. G1 Climax is starting, and we'll have a lot more of that. But if you want daily coverage of the G1 Climax, I should say, check out Okada Shorts, one of the podcasts on the Countout Podcast Network. Okada Shorts is our New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast. They're doing a podcast every day of the G1, so basically near daily coverage of the G1 Climax. So, I mean, at the time of a recording, when Ring Post Radio comes out, there's also a Night 3 Okada Shorts episode that's probably out. So go check that out. They're doing daily coverage. They're only like 20-minute episodes, so easy listens. But definitely go check that out. Scotty, you were going to say something?
Yeah, check the DMs real quick.
All right, checking the Twitter DMs real quick. It's a photo. It is a picture of Keiji Muto in a Game of Thrones style ice chair, much also akin to Superman's Fortress of Solitude, the final countdown series. Can we also talk about how he came out as the final countdown? That was fun. I love to see it. That is it, I believe, for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. Thank you so much for everybody for listening to this week's episode. We'll be back next week. Again, not this weekend. I will be again out of town. I'll be going to Disney this weekend, Scotty.
Yeah. You're doing stuff. I get it. Whatever. It's fine. I'll just sit here and survive. It's cool.
You'll be watching I believe a casket match while I'm on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
If you're on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at like 4 a.m., then congratulations.
I snuck into the park.
That's just dedication right there.
It's dedication.
Well, you have fun. I will just, do what I do because that's what I do. Shout out Mark Henry for that one. Remember when he used to do that? Anyways, enjoy your vacation. I hope How long are you going away for?
I am gone Friday night to Monday morning. So
There you go. That's a party.
it's gonna be a party. It's literally we're going to Magic Kingdom on Saturday and then Animal Kingdom on Sunday. I've never been to the Animal Kingdom Pandora part of the park.
Avatar.
The
Yeah, I don't
Avatar
like those
sections.
movies.
So I guess I'm excited. Pretty excited about it.
I guess.
I guess I'm pretty excited.
Don't sell it like you just did. They might be upset that you're not as excited as you should be.
Maybe. But then I'm also going to Dynamite tonight, so I also got a lot of stuff on my plate, and I'm still considering going.
Let's light the fuse.
I'm considering also going to Terminus.
Isn't that Kenosuke?
Yeah, that's why I'm considering.
Ooh. How can you make a Kenosuke Takeshita match bad? Terminus rules.
Or who is he? He's against Gresham, who has not had great main events in Terminus history. What else do we got here?
Remember when we thought Terminus was dead?
Yeah, I mean, remember when we thought Terminus was going to be the next, like, the PWG of the South?
Kind of. I know you were very excited for it, especially.
Yeah.
And then they had that first show, and you're like, oh,
it was bad. Masha Slamovich versus Queen Aminata. Jay Lethal versus Baron Black. Mike Bennett versus Invictus Cash. Will Ferrer versus Adam Priest. Khan. We like Khan. We love Khan.
You love Khan.
You also love Khan.
I like Khan. I don't love Khan.
He's in an open challenge match, so he's against some random person. And then C4, Cody Chun, Guillermo Rosas from Seattle promotion, Defy, versus The Factory, Aaron Solo and QT Marshall. Get hype, baby. Get hype, stay hype.
I love that. Oh, big God. Sorry. I love that their decision, as in AEW's, has been, let's just send The Factory everywhere.
Why not?
That's where we'll make it up to everyone. You know, them getting such a star in QT Marshall.
Yeah.
You know, it's enough. It's enough. And I appreciate the grind that they have done there.
What I do love about Terminus is that now that they're Ring of Honor affiliated, they're now slightly AEW affiliated, we can get better wrestlers like Takeshita on the show. And I'll stop there. I'll stop there. I guess.
But even better, you get The Factory.
Oh, give me Nick Camarado. Maybe Nick Camarado versus Khan. Maybe that's fun. Maybe that's some fun stuff.
Terminus rules match.
The Terminus rules match.
Do they still have those rules?
I believe so.
Oh man,
the rules aren't terrible, but they're not. I thought
too many.
The Santana Gresham match. Oh no, but that wasn't Terminus rules. Now that I think about it. No, was it? No, it was pure rules. Was it?
It was pure rules.
I don't even remember. Was it pure rules?
I literally just looked. It was pure rules.
Yeah, that was a good pure rules match up until the ending. Yeah, that was.
I feel like that's what you say a lot about these Gresham Terminus match. Yeah, it was really, really good, and then the ending happened. It sucked.
I said about both of the main events was that's why I'm not necessarily excited about this show. I there's a lot of stuff I'm excited about, but every single time it's like, man, the main event's pretty good, and then the finish sucks ass so hard. Oh.
So hard. Well, okay, so here's what Kaneshita. What the fuck's his name?
Konosuke
Takeshita. He has 2 big matches this weekend. 2 more. And he's wrestling Blackwood and Prestige.
Yep.
And then he's fighting Josh Alexander at the debut Garden State show.
Yeah, that's something. So wait, hold on. That's the other thing. You had tickets for Garden State. Right?
I had to get rid of them because I couldn't make it happen.
And then now you're not even know if you can do a Ring of Honor.
Because I couldn't make it happen. There was a reason I couldn't make it happen.
It's falling apart. Let's see what you're missing out on at Garden State.
It's okay. I'm just missing Miyu Yamashita. I'm just gonna, I'll be fine.
Just Miyu Yamashita.
Well, she's wrestling Billy Starks and
Janai Kai. Davey Richards versus Robert Martyr. That could be fun. Josh Alexander versus Takeshita. That should be good. Brian Keefe versus Effie. I'm sure after Effie's day yesterday, I'm sure that's going to be very interesting, I guess. Taya Valkyrie versus Trish Adora in a AAA Reina de Reinas title match. Oh boy. Yum Dum and Broke versus Team H2O. Calvin Tankman versus Taz Alexander. Drug Sheik Drive. Yeah. The second show looks second show.
All right, wrap up the podcast. My match of the week, by the way, was the AEW tag title match. There you go. Boom. See ya.
Yeah, that was a really, really good match. I would say, like I said, I didn't really watch a lot of wrestling. I watched a lot of what we're supposed to watch because of reasons.
You could just say Jon Moxley versus Takeshita. We can move on.
Yeah, I'll say Jon Moxley versus Takeshita.
It's on brand for what we've just been talking about. So there you go.
True. That is true. So that is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio.
It's been real.
It's been real, folks. We'll be back next week. Not this weekend, but next week. I think we talked about maybe doing Tuesday, Scotty. Remember, we'll figure it out. We'll obviously tweet about it like we did.
You just tell me, and I'll be there.
I'm available Monday night or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday. I'm just not available on Sunday. So it's up to your schedule, I guess.
And the week after,
we
get to review SummerSlam and night 1 and 2 of the 5-star Grand Prix. Baby, I'm mostly excited about the 2 5-star match shows. I'm not excited about SummerSlam.
Are you excited about Ric Flair's last match pay-per-view event?
My God, that was the biggest news piece of the week. And we didn't even talk about the JEFF JARRET Jeff Jarrett. It's really just Jeff Jarrett versus Andrade in my eyes.
I'm looking at it as Andrade versus Jay Lethal. That's all I'm looking at is like, oh yeah, baby, let's do it.
Oh, it's gonna be dangerous, but that show actually looks great.
Can I talk about that meme that was going around with Ric Flair real quick about him
like
lacing
dying?
His boots and stuff?
Yeah.
Everyone assumed that is him putting on his boots and not after wrestling and taking off the boots. Like everyone was like,
also true.
I was like, yeah, of course he looks tired after wrestling and running around and stuff. I mean, he is 70, but also I would look like that if I did the same thing.
See, here's the way I look at it. It's gonna be a shit show, no matter what.
I can't wait for it. It's gonna. The entire card looks good, and I'm super hyped for it.
I'm trying to find the card, and I can't find the full card.
I mean, we'll do a full preview next week.
Thank God.
But I'm excited for it. So stay tuned for that, folks. That's the teaser for next week. If you like the show, subscribe to the show on Ring Post Radio, wherever you get podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, or I guess Apple Podcasts. I'm Ryan Neitzey. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Neitzey. That's Scotty Edwards at Scott E Wrestling. Follow the whole show as well at Count Pod. We'll tweet out there when we're going to record next. Maybe Tuesday, maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. If we do Monday, it'll be Ring Post Radio nights, so maybe that's a tease. I don't know. We'll have more info about everything else coming out later on Count Pod. So until then, we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.